Now, if you're not sure your card is compatible or fast enough, here's an idea for a DIY test. I've not proved it spots bad cards yet, as the two I tried both worked fine, but it's a useful first exercise to validate your system and test your recording and playback skills before committing to a more serious session. The idea is to record some test tones for a few minutes and then play them back. If the tones are fairly pure and steady, it's easy to hear any anomalies or glitches, but it does need some patience, and listening to continuous tones may drive you mad in the process. I accept no responsibility for inducing tinnitus, so use sensible levels and be careful. Now, you don't need a fancy signal generator, just improvise with what you've got. Say, use a keyboard or synth and hold a key down. Here's my tone. Now, for a proper test, you need to drive the system flat out, so fill up the machine first by recording on all but 8 of the tracks. And if you've only got one source, just assign that one input to 8 tracks at a time. And my tone is on input H, so we're on the assign screen. Let's clear that. We do destination track 1, source H, destination 2, H. Now, rather than do these 8 at a time, we can assign to all the tracks here and then just record batches of 8 separately. So I'll do that now. So we'll arm the first batch of 8 and press record. Now, you want to record for a few minutes or until you run out of patience. Don't forget to rewind and repeat for the next batch. Don't forget we can just do 4 stereos at a time because they're 2 tracks each. Now, we want to test simultaneous recording and playback, and you can only play back tracks which are not being recorded. So this final batch of 8 needs to be recorded while you are listening and checking the others being played back. So press record, and now listen to all the other tracks one by one, just check they're okay. And when this batch is done, rewind and play these back, but just check the last 8 have been recorded glitch free. Now, I don't really know how valid this is as a stress test, but my gut feeling says that if it passes this, it's not going to let me down when the pressure's on. And one final note, if you've explored the track edit functions, you may have noticed there's a clone track option, and you may be tempted to use this to save time when recording all these test tones. Now, this function does not actually create new files on the card. Now, I guess it just uses a pointer to the same file, so there's no need to create a new one. And that's why all these functions appear to work instantly. No data is actually being shunted around, it just changes pointers. Now, I don't know if reading from the same file multiple times puts the same amount of stress on the card as reading multiple files, but I wouldn't risk it unless I knew for certain. The danger is you may think your card is okay when it's not.